you know how to create cash flow from your existing investment properties? That is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Hi, this is Moss from Investor Partner Group. I help create sustainable and scalable property portfolios without impacting or sacrificing your lifestyle. Let's get back into the topic. So if you have an existing property that you own right now and you're thinking about how do I create more cash flow in order to reduce my burden for mortgage, or increase the rental, how do I go about doing that? There are various key things that you can consider with your own investment properties right now. The first and the foremost is looking at the floor plan. So if you look at the floor plan of the properties, and if you have multiple living areas, you could potentially convert that living area to a bedroom. And converting a 3-bedroom 1-bathroom to a 4-bedroom 2-bathroom is relatively quite easy. Even like a 4-bedroom 1-bathroom pushes the yield up significantly as well in certain areas. So it's important to consider some of those things. Putting an extra wall in a house is not going to cost you anything more than $2,000, and so that is money well spent, where you are getting an extra $50 to $80 in rent per week. That's the first thing. The second thing is to consider your existing properties and see if you can convert them into co-living spaces or rooming houses, where you are individually putting tenants in individual rooms rather than renting out the whole houses. Now, of course, you have to furnish the whole place. You might have to add an extra bathroom, and the total cost looks somewhere around between say $30,000 all the way to $80,000. But that is money well spent, because you can potentially push the yields up by putting an extra 7 or 8 tenants in the property rather than putting a single tenant in the property. So it's important to consider these things too when you're thinking about co-living spaces. There are people out there who assist you in doing this sort of work, and so it's important to explore some of these opportunities as well. The third thing to consider when you're thinking about investment property is looking at your own house and seeing if there is a place behind the house, to add a granny flat or do a bit of an extension to create a dual arc, etc. Now, the granny flats can cost somewhere around $120,000 to $200,000, and so it's important to understand what sort of returns are you going to get. And in certain cases, adding a granny flat also increases or improves the equity within the house as well. So you can extract some of that money back from the bank as well. A perfect opportunity even for your own principal place of residence, if you're living in certain pockets where there is a big land at the back that you can use to generate Airbnb income, etc. That's a perfect opportunity too. The third thing to consider is for properties, people who are stuck with apartments, who have bought apartments and they haven't done anything and they can't sell them, they can't get rid of them, or people who have houses but they are in touristy locations or near the beach or near the city. Small townhouses, a perfect opportunity for them is to convert them into Airbnb accommodations. Of course, do proper feasibilities, run the numbers, understand what sort of money can you charge, what sort of vacancies do you need to assume, how many people can you rent it out to per year basis. Do that exercise before converting into an Airbnb. Have a bit of creative lens, furnish the house, ensure that you're acquiring or attracting the right type of tenants or right type of users when it comes to Airbnb. And think about some of the ongoing costs as well with Airbnb. Your insurance might go up, you might have a cleaning cost, you might have Airbnb costs, etc. If you're looking for those feasibilities, do reach out as well. Now, the last two of them are more in relation to managing the cash flow by, some of these creative ways. For example, one of the easiest way to manage cash flow is by changing principal and interest to interest only. Even for a time being, at least to help you, assist you on the cash flow side of things. While it's not a preferable strategy, it's always great to do that, because you can always save principal as creating a discipline in your own financial acumen, while leaving better cash flows across your overall property business. The fifth thing also is to consider about your own properties. If you have money sitting in an offset account, place it in your principal place of interest, principal place of residence, because that way you can use that. You can reduce the interest on your own principal place of residence, rather than leaving that saving somewhere else outside, and that way you can reduce your own cash flow going out of some of these properties. Recasting your debt, or even refinancing sometimes is a great strategy too. Yes, while from a long-term perspective it might be looked down upon, but it's one of the good strategies where you might have held a property for say 10 years and you might refinance it back again for 30 years, and so that might bring the repayment down to some of these properties too. So consider some of these things and some of these impacts. If you have any questions, comments, please reach out to me or my team. Thank you for listening to me. Have a wonderful day. Keep smiling, keep investing.